Hey everyone, it's Alora, and today I'm going to be giving you a tour of my messy TBR shelves. No, not the rainbow shelves in the back right now, but my very disorganized TBR cube shelves. My poor TBR books were relocated after I've done a lot of moving recently in the last few years, and everything gets shuffled around. Right now I only have two big bookshelves, and they're holding all of the books that I have read, and those are the ones that are organized by color. But unfortunately my TBR books got relegated to this much smaller cubicle type shelf, and it's not even specifically for books, so I don't know what I'm thinking, but that's where they are right now. Unfortunately, they are stacked two piles deep, or two rows deep, which I never do. I shouldn't say I never do it, since obviously I do it upon occasion, but I really don't like to do that, so I'm looking into getting more bookshelves. I'm actually in the middle of moving right now, again, so I will hopefully give these a better home, but until then, I wanted to show you what it looks like right now, and to show you all of the books that I have yet to read. I will warn you, there are a lot of them. This is not a small TBR bookshelf. This isn't like, here are the 10 books I haven't read yet. It's more like, here are the top 150 books I haven't read yet. I'm not exactly sure how many there are right now, but I will keep a running tally during this video, and then we'll count them up at the end. And then we'll add 30 more, because in my top 2017 TBR reads video, I took 30 and they're on a different shelf, and I'm not going to show you those ones because I just showed you those in a different video. So anyway, I've been rambling a lot. Let's get into the TBR shelf tour. I don't know if you're ready for this. Prepare yourself. Alright, let's go. Alright, this is a broad overview of what the shelf looks like. It's very disorganized. There are two stacks of books, two rows, which is embarrassing. I really need to get more shelves. Shelf number 1 has Shipbreaker by Paolo Bacigalupi, Atlantia by Ali Condi, an ARC of Empire of Dust by Eleanor Herman, Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, To the Bright Edge of the World by Eowyn Ivy, an ARC of Keep Me Posted by Lisa Beasley, Gathering Blue by Lois Lowry, the second book in the Giver series, Mystic Warrior by Tracy and Laura Hickman, book 1 of the Bronze Canticles, The Host by Stephanie Meyer, Flawed by Cecilia Ahern, Leave Me by Gail Foreman, Flourish by Martin E.P. Seligman, Fire with Fire by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian, Ashes to Ashes by the same two ladies, Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng, A Work in Progress by Connor Franta, How to Get Happily Published by Judith Applebaum, Orlando by Virginia Woolf, Sweet Little Lies by Lauren Conrad, the second book in the LA Candy series, The Au Pairs by Melissa de la Cruz. Moving on to the second cube, we have The Crown's Game by Evelyn Skye, The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson, The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simmons, The Chaos of Stars by Kirsten White, The Evolution of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin, What Color is Your Parachute for Teens? Shoot, I can't read this anymore, I'm not a teenager. I missed out on my op. I'm just kidding, I'll probably still read it. Bloodhound by Tamora Pierce. This is the second book in the Becca Cooper series. I really do like these books. The Future of Us by Jay Asher and Carolyn Mackler. I really loved 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher, which is why I picked this one up, but I just haven't read it yet. Mystic Quest, which is the second book in the Bronze Canticles by Tracy and Laura Hickman. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Very famous book. The Siren by Kira Cass. And finally, Lila by Robert M. Piercig. This is the third cubicle on the top shelf, starting off with Everything's Eventual by Stephen King. I fixed the lighting, sorry. So then this is Briar Rose by Jane Yolen, A Dance with Dragons by George R.R. Martin, Legend by Marie Lu, The Vault of Dreamers by Cara M. O'Brien, Spinster, Making a Life of One's Own by Kate Bullock, The Uses of Enchantment by Bruno Bettelheim, Vision in White by Nora Roberts, Vasa in the Night by Sarah Porter, Alienated by Melissa Landers, Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Roche, Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson, Afterworlds by Scott Westerfeld, Hollow City, the second novel of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs, Messenger, the third Giver book by Lois Lowry, Ghost Flower by Michelle Jaffe, and finally Otherbound by Corinne Duvis. Duvis? Something like that. Moving on down, we have 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray, 11 Thumps and the Gateway to Fu by Obert Sky. Do you think that's his real name, Obert? Let's Get Lost by Adi Al-Said, Once Upon a Curse by E.D. Baker, A Prince Among Frogs by E.D. Baker, Never Always Sometimes by Adi Al-Said, Beta by Rachel Kahn, The Summer Country by James A. Hetley, Castle Rogna by Piers Anthony, A Tale of Two Castles by Gail Carson Levine, A Darker Shade of Magic and A Gathering of Shadows, both by V.E. Schwab, 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens by Sean Covey, Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion, A Feast for Crows by George R.R. Martin, The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh, The Ring and the Crown by Melissa de la Cruz, Where Beauty Lies by Elle and Blair Fowler, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance by Robert Pirsig. Alright, moving over a bit, we have the entire Mistborn trilogy, so Mistborn, The Well of Ascension, and The Hero of Ages, all by Brandon Sanderson. Midnight City by J. Barton Mitchell, I Remember You by Kathleen DeVitt Bell, Another Day by David Levithan, September Girls by Bennett Madison, Spirit Junkie by Gabrielle Bernstein, Add More Ing to Your Life by Gabrielle Bernstein, also May Cause Miracles by the same lady, After You by Jojo Moyes, and finally for the shelf, The Ask and the Answer, the second book in the Chaos Walking trilogy by Patrick Ness. Next we have Nightmare by Piers Anthony, Girl Online by Zoe Sugg, sort of, Wonder by R.J. Palacio, Falling into Place by Amy Zhang, Dragon on a Pedestal by Piers Anthony, One, Safe Haven by Nicholas Sparks, Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys, Every Exquisite Thing by Matthew Quick, The Walled City by Ryan Grodin, It's Not Summer Without You, and We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han, Hopeless by Colleen Hoover, The Slow Regard of Silent Things by Patrick Rothfuss, The Crane Wife by Patrick Ness. Sorry about the terrible angle, but this bookshelf is on the ground, so it's the best I can do. So we're starting with The Land of Stories, The Wishing Spell by Chris Colfer, The Wind-Up Girl by Paolo Bacigalupi, Mastiff by Tamora Pierce, Decisive by Chip and Dan Heath, Solitaire by Alice Osman, Grimm by a bunch of authors including Ellen Hopkins, Julie Kagawa, and Amanda Hawking, A Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin, Monsters of Men, the third book in the Chaos Walking series by Patrick Ness, Madame Picasso by Anne Girard, The Pirate's Wish by Cassandra Rose Clark. Speaking of this book, if anybody knows where I can get the first one, The Assassin's Curse, for less than like $100, please let me know. The Severed Tower by J. Barton Mitchell, Wouldn't Take Nothing for My Journey Now by the lovely Miss Angelou, Firefight by Brandon Sanderson, Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe, and this is actually an incredibly old edition, there isn't even a copyright date in it. A Spell for Chameleon by Piers Anthony, and Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen. In the second to last cubbyhole, we have Gracefully Grayson by Amy Polonsky, Faithful by Alice Hoffman, Starters by Lisa Price, Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. Now I have read Alice in Wonderland, but I have not yet read Through the Looking Glass, which is why it's still on my TBR shelf. Bitter Blue, the final book in the Graceling Realm trilogy by Kirsten Kishore, Dragon Queen by J.L. Gibson, and I actually bought this book in Gold Beach, where the author lives, Ogre by Piers Anthony, Centaur Isle, and The Source of Magic, also by Piers Anthony. Obviously I have one of his longer series here that I haven't read at all yet. Anything Could Happen by Will Walton, City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, Dragon Keeper by Robin Hobb, Cooked by Michael Pollan, Daily Reflections for Highly Effective Teens by Sean Covey, A Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin, Read Your Life, 11 Ways to Transform Your Life with Books by Pat Williams, The Tales of Beetle the Bard by J.K. Rowling. I'm so sorry for the awkward angle, but we're at the last cubbyhole here. So we have Julie and Julia by Julie Powell, The Other Boleyn Girl by Philippa Gregory, Hello, Goodbye, and Everything in Between by Jennifer E. Smith, Cry of the Ice Mark and Blade of Fire, both by Stuart Hill, No Safety in Numbers by Dana Lorenz, The Sacred Lies of Minnow Bly by Stephanie Oakes, A Man Without Words by Susan Schaller, Turnabout by Margaret Peterson Haddocks, Fixing Delilah by Sarah Ockler, The Retribution of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin, The Glass Sentence by S.E. Grove, Proof of Forever by Lexa Hillier, The Book of Broken Hearts by Sarah Ockler, The Selection Stories, The Prince and the Guard by Kira Cass, Matched by Ali Condi, Dragon's Breath by E.D. Baker, This Star Won't Go Out by Esther Earle with an introduction by John Green, and finally Animal Vegetable Miracle by Barbara Kingsolver. Alright guys, that was my incredibly messy TBR shelf. As you can see, all of these shelves are now empty and my floor is covered in books, which I guess isn't a bad thing. There are worse problems to have in the world. I also want to let you guys know that I am moving very soon, and so I'm just going to pack these books up into boxes, and so I will be doing a full already read bookshelf tour in the fairly nearish future once I get all of those books moved over to my new place. So look forward to that. Thank you guys so much for watching my messy TBR shelf tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I just wanted to say goodbye. Ooh, I thought of something else. Please let me know what book you thought I should read first. Are any of these books that you have already read and you thought were fantastic or fabulous or, you know, absolutely wonderful, and you're like, Laura, why haven't you read those yet? I'd love to know. Yeah, so please leave me a comment and let me know which books I should get to first. Alright, until next time, as usual, stay happy, stay healthy. Bye guys.